I've been having these days where I'm so fucking frustrated. I'm questioning if anything that I'm working towards is even worth it at this point. If you're a young man, now is the perfect time to do every single thing that you can do to create that exponential growth that you're gonna feel and live through as you get older. A lot of these things take time. I've been working hard for years. It hasn't been on one specific thing, but things such as my mind, my body, my business, the way I socialize with other people. There's so many things that you can work on. There's almost never a reason why you should stop, you know? It gets discouraging though. I can see why a lot of people don't end up doing shit for themselves, even when they know better. There's three types of people. There's the person who doesn't know any better, therefore doesn't do anything. There's the person who knows better, knows what to do, and does it. And then there's the person who knows better but still chooses not to. And there's so many reasons for it. But if you want to make sure that you're in the direction where your growth is inevitable, you need to be inspired by life and by other people's accomplishments. You can't let other people's accomplishments make you feel like you're a lesser or that you can't do it. Because realistically, we are capable of doing anything that we put our minds to. It doesn't matter how difficult it is. It doesn't matter how easy it is. Because at the end of the day, we can do it. I used to be a skinny, scrawny little motherfucker. But damn, building my body has changed my whole perception in what I can do. I've had days, weeks, and months where I've just wanted to stop. The plateaus that I would deal with because I wasn't eating enough. I was training hard, but I just wasn't eating enough food. And if I had properly known better, and in a sense I did know better and I still chose not to because I thought I could get away with it. You can make your life so much easier if you just stop being a stubborn little fuck and do what's necessary. Because there's going to be a time where you tell yourself that it's finally time that I need to do this, and you wish you've done it before, or you don't do it at all and you just regret not doing enough for yourself. See, a big problem in our generation, what is this shit, Gen Z? Something that I've realized is that we're not hard enough on ourselves. I remember my old girlfriend and my mom, some of my friends too, they would tell me, you know, Mario, I think you're just being too hard on yourself for this reason and that reason. But you need to understand that you're responsible for every single thing that goes on in your life. Even if it's a beautiful experience or a shitty experience. No matter what happens to you, you're responsible for how you respond to it and the next steps moving forward, because you're the only one who's in control of your life. You cannot let anybody get control of you, because the moment you allow other people to control your life, you are done. You're done. Game over. No, we're not doing this shit. It's uncomfortable though, I'll tell you that. I started getting more control over my life when I stopped caring so much about how people felt about me, and I started practicing and doing things on my own accord. I started doing things how I wanted to do it. Some people liked it, some people didn't. But you really can't please everybody in this world. You really can't. You might get shamed, ridiculed, labeled. You may create a polarization of people who like you and people who don't like you. You know, it doesn't matter what the fuck you do. You can act like a saint and people will still shit on you. And that's why it's so important to really put yourself first and really embrace how it feels to be selfish in life. Because when you're selfish in life and you put yourself first, that's when the real progress comes. And I've been doing this shit for years, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, I've had moments where I wasn't as selfish and I was putting other people before me, but I realized, really, that's just a waste of fucking time and energy. Because if you're not capable of doing what's needed to be accomplished, you're not going to be deemed as worthy. You're not going to be deemed as necessary to have or valuable in somebody's life. And if you're not valuable in somebody's life, you're just not going to be in it. Or you're going to be considered dead weight, and people who are dead weight get disrespected. Is that what you want? Do you want to be disrespected in this life? Because I sure as hell do not want to, and I will not. There's no disrespect when you put yourself first and you do what you need to do for yourself. Even when it feels like you're climbing up an uphill with a boulder. Sisyphus, you must imagine Sisyphus happy. Sometimes you're gonna have to be rolling that fucking boulder up that mountain just to get one task done. But once you get that momentum, it's good. You keep the momentum. This feeling, it definitely does come and go. But that's the beauty of being disciplined. There's this feeling, a constant urge to just get comfortable and do less. It's always going to be there. That's why you need to train your mind not to give in. Because the moment you give in, that's when your momentum is destroyed. And a lot of the times the hard part is just getting the ball rolling. But once you start to get the ball rolling, that's when shit begins to feel fun. And what's fun to the man with momentum may seem like psychological warfare to an average person. You don't want to be an average person, because we're not here to live average lives. We're here to ascend. We're here to ascend. And this can be in so many different aspects. If you're just starting off, build your body first. If you're skinny, if you want to get jacked, which I expect everybody watching this video to want to get jacked. Unless you're a lady, I get it. But if you're a dude and you want to really build some muscle and a physique that people desire, good for you, honestly. Because some people are just too satisfied with their lives. I see it all around me. They're too satisfied with their lives, therefore they don't get anything done. Because they don't have a real reason to. Why would I want to get anything done if I don't have a reason to get anything done? You have to want it. If you want to be jacked, if you want to build muscle and break out of that fat or skinny frame, you have to want it. You're not going to get something if you don't want it. Because in order to put in that work that you don't want to put in, you have to fucking want it. You have to. You really do. Can't make that shit up, man. And a lot of us are young. I still consider myself young, but that's not an excuse to do less with my life. Yeah, I still have my moments where I'm struggling to get the work done, but failure is not an option. And the only time that you fail is when you consciously give up. No, you can't give up. It doesn't matter how hard it gets, you cannot give up. There's no giving up. No. Did you see that bicep vein? Hit some back earlier. Beautiful. Physique is looking amazing. It only gets better from here. It really only gets better from here. When you start working on yourself and doing what you know is necessary, even when it's hard, it just keeps getting better and better and better. It really does. It makes you grateful to live, even when there's a storm right in front of you. You gotta be grateful. You really do. If you want to work with me one-on-one, Link is in the description. Tap that, book a call with me, let's chat. Because we need to level up. We are halfway into the year, and there's no time to be complacent. We've been talking about complacency since 2022, and there's still a lot of people who just either haven't woken up or just simply don't care. Now, there's some people who are trying, but they just don't have the necessary resources, and that's what we're here for. And if you're one of those people, you're good, don't worry. Sometimes I still worry though. I still worry if my efforts are enough. And something I realized is, whenever I worry that I'm not enough, it's because I'm not. And that's okay, because every single day is a new opportunity to grow. And you can't let that weigh you down. You really can't. If you aren't enough, you keep working until you become effective. If you were enough, you would have what you want. I would have what I want. That's why we're fighting. We're fighting for what we want, whether it's right or wrong. We're fighting because we have it in our souls, and you have it in your soul too. You have that fire inside. You need to grab it out of you and wield it in your hand and observe. Observe the color, the heat, the shape of the flame, and never forget that. Because when you go through your everyday life, the power, the abundance of that fire will either take you from point A to point B, or point B to point A. You might end up in point C, but it really depends on the flame. Are you embracing that flame, or are you ignoring it? Are you afraid?